you went to a casting for Survivor. I had to mention this for my cousin Allie, who's a huge Survivor fan. But how did you do this? How did you go to the Survivor casting? How did that turn out? Why did you do it?
Well, I always wanted to, I love Survivor, the show, and so I love watching it. And I thought, like that'd be cool to play the game. I think it is the world's greatest game in the sense of like that you can go play, like anybody can go play, because it's got this big stakes. It's on TV. It's super challenging physically, super challenging mentally, just being on this island and eating just rice and beans for 40 days. Super challenging socially because you got to like manipulate your way to the end of the game and not get voted out. So there's all these elements, and so I thought, oh wow, that'd be a really fun challenge. I wonder what would happen if I could do it. And then I was saying that, and like, sometimes you meet somebody who kind of like calls your bluff. They're just like, oh yeah, why don't you go try out? Like, have you Googled, where's the audition? I was like, no, I don't know. It's just something I kind of say. It's not really something I've been actively doing. So I Googled it and it's like, hey, in Vegas, there's an audition in a month. All right, like, let's go. And I told Mike, I was working at Monkey Furniture at the time. I told Michael, I said, hey, I'm going to go try out for Survivor. If I get casted, like I'm going to take 40 days off to, go try to win Survivor. Hope you're okay with that. And he was like, what? Okay, we'll talk about it if you get it. And so, yeah, we went to Vegas and we tried out for Survivor. And I had tried out I'd auditioned for one television show before that. I'd actually, when I was younger, I auditioned for these like small movies. And I got in. I was in 2 movies when I was in like 7th grade or something. And then I auditioned for what's it called? Price is Right? No, not Price is Right. Wheel of Fortune. I auditioned for Wheel of Fortune and got cast onto it. I didn't end up doing it because I moved to Australia when the week they called me. I just moved, took that new gig in Australia, and they're like, "Hey, we'd love to have you on. You just got to fly back to LA and like do this." And I was like, I don't know. I'm starting this new thing. I just moved to Australia. Like, screw it. So I didn't go, which I should have gone. I don't know why. Like, it's one of those things where it's like the job always feels important. But like, really, in the scheme of my life, I would have much rather punted that job for a week and gone on, Wheel of Fortune. But anyways, so I had some success. So I thought I was going to get it. I went and I auditioned for Survivor and no callback. So it didn't end up working out.
What would you have done differently if you were in that audition today? Is there anything you've learned in the last 7 years where you're like, oh, I wish I used that to get cast on Survivor?
Yeah, that's a great question. I never really thought about it, but a bunch of things come to mind now that you do ask. So let me explain. And again, tell me if this is like just boring for your audience or they don't care. But okay, how do you audition for Survivor? You can send in a tape, but the main way is there's basically 3 ways. A casting director reaches out to you because you're just like famous on Instagram or something, and they're like, "Oh, you have the look, they just DM you." That's okay. Luck came to you. Then there's like, you send in a tape, they review it or they don't. And then there's you go to the audition, the open calls. And so that's where I went to Vegas. What is it? It's like a convention center. And then there's like a huge line. I told the story. It's actually pretty cool. On the way into the convention center, somebody was standing outside with a clipboard. And she was like, all right, Survivor auditions this way. Who's going to make it? Are you going to do it? You're going to do it. And the guy, somebody's like nodding and she's like, do a cartwheel right now. And she's like recording on her phone. And then the person would be like, oh, and then try to do a cartwheel. Or she'd be like, okay, into this camera, I want you to scream as loud as you can. Like, we need people with big personalities, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, sign in before you go. Everybody's signing this clipboard. It turns out that person did not work for Survivor. They were auditioning. They had auditioned for like 7 years straight, never got it. And this time their way to break in was they showed the casting producer when they got to the front, they were like, look, I have a clipboard. At the top, it says, if I sign this, it's because I believe that she should be on the show, not me. And she's like, look, I manipulated, 500 people into signing this thing. I got them to like do crazy stuff. Imagine what I could do on the show. Still didn't get casted, by the way. Although I thought that was kind of a very clever hack. I think they were kind of like creeped out by her because she'd been doing this for years. And they were like, it's a no, like just give up. But anyways, we go and you stand in line for 7 hours and you don't know what the audition is. I sort of assumed it's like American Idol. That's the only thing I'd ever seen. You walk into a room, there's 3 judges, they ask you questions or something and you answer. So by the time I got to the front 7 hours later, first I'm like drained. And then it's just a camera that's set up and you stand in front of it. They're like, all right, you have 60 seconds, say whatever you want, go. It's like, what am I supposed to talk about here? And then you just like say some bullshit. And then you like, all right, if you get a call, like if you get a call back, you'll get a call back. If you don't, that's a no. And so then it was over in 30 seconds. And so it's kind of a disheartening thing. Now, knowing what I know today, me being who I am today, how would I approach this? First, one life philosophy is you don't want to fish where everybody else is fishing, meaning you don't want to be, if you want a job, don't just put your resume in a stack of other resumes and pray that you stand out, because this is really hard. So instead of going to the casting call and standing in line with 1,000 other people, what I would do differently is I would figure out who is the casting director. I'd go find them online, and I would just go contact them directly with my like pitch. And my pitch would be, in the form of maybe it's a video I send them, maybe it's a TikTok that I try to make go viral, and then I share it with them to make sure I get on their radar. And the second thing is you have to have a clear hook. Who are you, right? It's like Survivor is very clear how they cast people. They cast like villains who are like the kind of like the manipulators, and they are the like total liars, cutthroat type people. They have like the heroes. It's like, I'm a police officer, I'm a fireman. It's like, I'm going to be, America's favorite person to root for. I'm a very humble, I'm not trying to lie, I'm an honest kind. There's like the sheltered person who's like, I don't know, like I've never met a black person before. Okay, cool. We're going to put you on the show. You're going to have like some transformative life experience. You're not going to win, but like you're a heartwarming story along the way of like somebody who like this experience grew me so much. And then there's like, the sexy person. And so it's like, you have to fit into one of these molds. And so I would try to figure out first, what's that mold? Then how do I look the part, act the part, and like basically come across that way? And so I would have to have like a hook where if they were just like writing my tagline under my name, it's like, if I imagine the thumbnail of, when they introduce all the characters, it's like, you're on video, you're talking, and it says Shaan, it says which tribe you're in, and it says like your occupation or your kind of storyline. I would just try to like work backwards from that. How do I make that really compelling? Because that's what they're looking for when they cast people. Because I think just my normal, totally authentic self would not fit into any of those. I wouldn't get casted. So if I really want to get casted, I got to kind of productize myself and take a slice of myself that fits what they're looking for, and just make that slice the main dish, make that the main thing that they see, and hide all the other stuff and ignore all the other stuff.
What would you cast yourself as? How would you productize yourself?
I think I'd have to be the villain because I don't really fit. I'm not the super sexy guy. I'm not the firefighter. I'm not the like sheltered person. So really, I think in their archetypes, the only one I would go for is that. The other one is like kind of like the soundbite guy, or like kind of like the highly neurotic guy, where they're like, this guy's not going to survive on the island. He's going to go crazy. Like he's going to like the elements are going to get to him. He's going to overanalyze. He's going to get too paranoid. He's going to like make the wrong moves because he got too paranoid on the island. That's the other one I could probably fit into, is like overly analytical guy who like ties himself up in a knot and fails. And so I'd have to play that part without letting them know I'm aware that that's the part. Because once you're aware of it, you're no good for reality TV. They need people with low self-awareness to go on those shows.